Could this be one of the best DSLRs with a 14 megapixel CCD film-like sensor for under 200 bucks? Let's find out.
I interrupt with great news. Gear Patrol, thank you. Gear Patrol, they purchased dpreview.com. Oh my goodness, you know now that DP Review is in good hands.
Hello everyone, Carmine from New York here. This is photo class number 282. We are slowly approaching class number 300. Oh my goodness, where has the time gone? When you're talking photography, the time just goes so quickly. All right, what the heck's going on? Oh, I know. You have to hit the subscribe button right now. It's mandatory. All right, let's jump right into the Sony a390. First of all, if you've been with me for a while, you know this is not the first video I've made on the Sony a390. I think this is like the third or fourth. I'm not even sure. Here's what happened. Today, cloudy, overcast day, not a good picture taking day here in New York City this morning. But I had to go out. I had to go to the post office. And I'm not leaving the house without grabbing a camera. I just grabbed the Sony a390. Why? I have no idea why I grabbed it. I think my brain just said, take the Sony a390. CCD film-like sensor. Oh my God. This camera has been with me for so many years. You want to know why? I'm going to show you why right now. Look at this screen. Look at this flippy screen, right? You really don't get many choices. You get straight up, you get back, or you get down. All right? But believe it or not, this is the most important tilt that this camera has. Why? I'm going to show you right now. Let's take it off the tripod. As a photojournalist here in the city, there's many times you don't want to photograph somebody, whether it's on the same side of the street or across the street, and you're aiming this big giant Canon. This is the Minolta Sony A-mount lens. This is the 70 to 210 macro lens, right? It's a zoom, but it's an internal zoom, which means there's no breathing of the lens to suck in dust, right? And it's an f4 constant from 70 all the way to 210. And on this camera, it's a 1.5 crop because it's aps-c size sensor, which means you just multiply the 70 to 210 by 1.5, and that gives you what real telephoto this is. All right. Let me get back to the screen. So you don't want to put this Canon in front of somebody's face, right? They can see this even across the street. It's so big. This used to be called a beer can when I started. All right, here's what you do. This is the screen. Now it's facing you, right? Because I have it facing up. All I have to do is, if I wanted to take you a picture, the screen, don't forget now, is facing me right here. I see it clear as day, okay? And I put it on, switch right over here for live view, right? Look, there's the screen for live view. I just go like this. Now the lens is pointing to you. I can see you in my screen, but I'm facing this way, right? Boom, take the picture, done. I took your picture as a photojournalist, and you won't even know I took it until it's in the newspaper the next day. All right, we have to keep going on this camera. I'm going to show you the photographs that I took today with the Sony a390 as we go through in this whole video. I have so much to tell you about it. All right. It has IBIS, in-body image stabilization, sensor shift. That means the sensor will shift. If you shake your camera, right, it tries to keep up with you to make the photograph blur free. It works great. I use it all the time. You can take RAW or JPEGs. It takes the Sony Minolta A mount. Now that's another whole story why Sony has Minolta lenses, right? Like this is the 50 millimeter, right? Minolta. This is the 1.7 prime. What a gorgeous lens this is, right? And this is the Minolta 70 to 210 Minolta, right? Why Minolta on a Sony? You guys may not even understand. Well, it wasn't that long ago. Let's go back to 2004. That's when Konica merged with Minolta. That was step number one. Step number two, the very next year in 2005, Konica and Minolta announced a joint venture with Sony for their CCD and CMOS technology. Well, that didn't last too long because in 2006, Minolta just said, all right, Sony, you win. Here, I'm going to sell you the whole brand. And that's how in 2006, we got the Sony a390 with the Minolta Sony A mount. Okay, this is what an A mount looks like, right? It's pretty hard to tell on the screen the differences between like a Nikon F mount, a Sony A mount. It's pretty hard to tell, but that's what it is. And before we go any further, I know you guys are saying, Carmine, how much is all this stuff? $150 for the body on eBay. There's dozens of them in working condition. $150. The lens, $40 for a mint copy of the Minolta A mount 70 to 210 f4. The prime 50 millimeter, right? This is the prime 50 millimeter 1.7 Minolta. That goes for $50. So where are we? We're at like 190 for this system, 190 for the lens and the body. Add another 50, we're at 240, $240, and you can have a 2-lens set with a 14 megapixel CCD sensor. Why is a CCD sensor so important, and why are you hearing so much about it lately? For very good reason. It was first. CCD sensors came out first way before CMOS. CCD sensors were developed by, let's say, Kodak. Kodak made their own sensors. And who developed them? Film guys. They knew the right color combination to work in the chemistry of the sensor to make it come out to look like what they had a reference to, which was Kodak film. Okay. CMOS sensors, CMOS, that's what you have now in every modern camera, including the Nikon Z8, Z9. Why did they get developed? Why didn't they just stay with a gorgeous CCD sensor? Two reasons, two main reasons. Money was the first reason. It costs a hell of a lot less to manufacture a CMOS sensor than it does to make a CCD sensor. All right? Listen, we all know it. CCD sensors got replaced by CMOS because CMOS sensors are cheap to make, like everything else. That's why there's a lot of plastic parts in cars these days, because it's cheaper, not better. Going. All right, the gorgeous screen on the back is 2.7 inches. Gorgeous. And like I just showed you, it tilts in 2 directions. It does have a pop-up flash. It uses an SD card. All right, let me just show you on the side. Okay, I'm not going to take it out because the power is still on. It takes an SD card, and there's a switch over here. You have to switch it between the slot for SD card or the second slot that's underneath there for the Sony, what is it called? The Sony Memory Stick Pro Duo. You know, the proprietary memory stick that was not very popular. But thank goodness Sony put in a slot for SD cards. All right, you can get about 230 photographs per charge on the battery. Now, since I talked so much about the battery, it's time for me to show you. It's not very, here you go. This one happens to be a Castar brand battery, okay? I don't know if you can see it that well. It's not that big, okay? But you do get over 200 photographs with this battery. Oh, CCD sensors. Oh, they use so much power. Yeah, okay. So, this is the camera. This is the lenses. You've seen the photographs. Subscribe to my channel. $150 for the body, $40 for this zoom lens, the beer can, and $50 for the 50mm prime Minolta Sony A mount. Okay? This has been my pleasure. It's been class 282. Hit the subscribe button and have a great day. This is Carmine from New York saying goodbye.